Okay, so the recording is on now. So yeah, so the last time we had seen the definition of homotopy, right? And also the impact of homotopy in mathematics, like what it is doing actually. We had already seen all this, and also we had observed that the homotopy, the one f is homotopic to g, two functions are homotopic to each other. This is an equivalence relation on the set of all continuous function from a space x to another space y. And this is an equivalence relation as we have seen. And also the also we have seen the definition of product of paths. Okay, let me just recall it once again. Uh, yeah, this is the product of paths, and we defined what does it mean. It's a kind of concatenation of two paths. So I'm speeding it up and going half of the paths through traversing by f, and then half of the remaining half of the paths through g. Okay, so this was the product, and then we have seen that the homotopy behaves well with the product of paths. That means this product of paths preserves the homotopy, and that's how we actually define the products of homotopy class instead of just products of two paths. So that's why products of homotopy class was well defined. This is the proposition, since the product preserves the homotopy, right? So this was we had already seen, and then okay, so what else? Okay, so this was something not the trivial we had seen last time, and then we had defined something reparametrization. Reparametrization is just a path in zero closed interval 0 1. There's a function from 0 1 to 0 1 is of course a continuous function, and then we had seen that homotopy behaves well with the reparametrization of paths. So that means that if g is a reparametrization of the path f, it means that g can be written as f composition some reparametrization. G is f composition gamma, then g and f are homotopic to each other. That means that homotopy also preserves the reparametrization of paths. And I already had given some kind of intuitive idea of what the reparametrization does. So the reparametrization is just a kind of sliding the path from some port, like if I have path starting from one point ending on one another point, reparametrization is sliding the path which will start from a different point and end at a different point. That's what the reparametrization does. Nothing much more than that. And mm, okay, so this was something we had done, right? That the homotopy behaves well with the reparametrization. So you can see from here, if you went through the proof of this, then you will understand that actually homotopy behaves well with the composition of two functions. So what does that mean? Basically, this proof of reparametrization is exactly saying that. So I can make it as exercise for you to see that homotopy behaves well with this proof. Whatever I'm saying, this just basically the you can say the mimic of the proof of this proposition that homotopy behaves well with the reparametrization. It's exactly same thing. I'm saying that homotopy behaves well with the composition of two function. So it means that if f and g are two function, continuous function from x to y, where f and g are homotopic through some homotopy, let's say f, and if I have some another function h from y to some another topological space, let's say z, then if F is homotopic to G, then F composed with H is homotopic to G composed with H. Sorry, this is homotopic. Yeah. And what will be the homotopy? It is very easy to see, right? It's like H composed with that F in some sense. Composition of with H and the homotopy F. It means that we have seen that the homotopy, we can parameterize the homotopy through the time parameter. So the moment we are saying capital F is a homotopy, we know that it consists of uh, the deformations, right? Like I'm deforming F in such a way continuously, and then that last stage I'm going to G. So the intermediate steps are parameterizing by the time parameter T, where the functions are denoted by, let's say, Ft. T runs from 0 to 1. And so capital F and Ft are basically same thing in a different notation, just a parameterization. And then the homotopy here will be H composed with Ft, right? So that's how the we can say that homotopy behaves well with the composition, because this is very important, and we will see it again and again that it will behave well with the composition of function. This is something underlying thing which we are using everywhere later. Okay, so what is the thing? I forgot how to delete this writing. Hmm. Anyway, let me move on. So this was all we had done. We had seen last time. So for this time, we'll see that this relation is actually associative. That means, okay, how to erase this? Um, there is this option. No. Hey, can anyone tell me how to erase this now? Oh, yeah, yeah, it is on the top. Okay. Uh, Clear my drawings. Sorry. Okay. So, okay. So the multiplication of equivalence class of paths is associative. That is, F composed with G composed with H is homotopy to F composed with G and then with H. So where the above multiplication is defined. So here I just want to mention one thing. So here this is sometimes is my fault. Sometimes I made you confused with the notation of composition and the product of paths. I think I have made the correction later on, but yeah, here this is not a composition of function. This is just a product. Even though I have put the dot inside, this doesn't mean anything. This is just the product. But keep it in mind, for this movement, this is just the product of, so product of FGH and then FG if followed by G composition H, and then if composition G followed by H. So the first one, what is the definition of it? So the if composed with G composed with H, this is the definition of this is I am traversing half of the path by F, and then remaining half, in the remaining half of the remaining half by G and the remaining half by H. So this is the definition. And this is just a technical thing. You can just rigorously do it by your hand to find out why this kind of formula arises and how to make your concept more clear. But there is no conceptual thing in this. But the concept is that half of the path is going through by F, and the remaining half of the path is going through by G composed H. Like sorry, G product with H. And similarly for this second one, so F composed G and then composed with H, it means that first fourth half, so first the last half of the path is traversed by H, and the first half of the path is traversed by H F composition G. So therefore, first half of the path is again divided by two halves, and the first half will be traversed by F, and the second half of the first half is traversed by G. That's how this definition makes sense. And you can see from the formulation that F of 4s for 0 to 1 over 4, and then G of 4s minus 1 for 1 over 4 to half, and H of 2s minus 1 from half to 1. I'm not kind of putting much attention on this because these are not very important thing to think about. But yeah, like you can actually do it by rigorously to see what is happening where. So from the previous proposition, it's enough to show that F composed with G composed H is the reparameterization of F composed G composed with H. So if I can see that these two things, F followed by G product H, and there's F product G followed by H, this thing is the reparameterization of one another, then we can actually claim that they are just homotopic to each other, as we have seen in the previous proposition that homotopy behaves only with the reparameterization. Okay, so we want to find some reparameterization gamma and try to write one with respect to reparameterization. And but yeah, so here I am trying to note the point that here this is a composition and remaining things are just product. So I'm composing the parameterization gamma with the FGH, right? So and I want to see that these two are same in some way. So here even you can just do it mathematically, what is the reparameterization, how the things are happening. But I want to just give you some idea instead of going to the kind of laborious mathematical work. I just want to give the idea how the things are working, and I want you to look it more conceptually to this picture. So look at the picture. This picture in the bottom of the picture is representing the F composed G, then sorry, F product G, then the product with H. Okay. So that means that the look at this first half. First half is going. I'm going the first half of the path, which is FG. This path traversed by FG, and this path is traversed by H, right? And the other way around for for this one. So now I want to see the homotopy between them. So remember, everything is the reparameterization. The advantage of reparameterization is that first I am thinking, since they are paths means they are continuous function from closed interval 0, 1 to my space X, right? So if I can see what is happening in close 0, 1, close 0, 1, that means in the square, which is a convex set, then I can actually transform or compose F with them or G with them, sorry, compose gamma with them. Yeah, so sorry, compose F or whatever be the function. In this case, this is my F and this is my, like this, I'm composing this with my reparameterization, which is happening in the level of the set close 0, 1, close 0, 1. then I'm composing with that, and then I'm going to the space X, and I have seen, oh, this is the thing happening there. But in this case, this is my set close 0, 1, cross 0, 1. And my gamma is a function from close 0 to close 0, 1. So I have to see, even though I draw this FGH, this is a picture, but this is the underlying picture of what is happening before in the reparameterization. Then after reparameterizing, they will no more be straight line, right? They will be something else. Okay, so look at the straight line. The first straight line, what I'm doing. So the first point here is I'm joining the point midpoint between F and G with the midpoint with the start point of F on the top, right? Excuse me. So yeah, so it means that in the beginning, where my F starts, at the end my F starts there. So that's why I'm joining them by a straight line. This was straight line homotopy. Since I am in a convex set 0, 1 cross 0, 1. Just think it in that way. And uh, then in the second straight line, look that in the bottom, the point is the start point of H and the end point of a composition G. So at the end, I want it to be the start point of G composition. Sorry, so this is the, okay, let me so this is the starting point of H, and now this is my starting point of H. So these 2 points will be related because so it will be kind of sliding after the time. At the first, I have this, and at the end of my homotopy, I will want this. So automatically, these 2 points are related through a straight line. It means that at t equal to 0, I was here, and t equal to 1, I'll be there. So this is just a sliding. This means the reparameterization. And simply for this one. So in this way, if you actually want to see what the reparameterization is, you can get it through by, if you know what the points they are joining to each other. So now then it follows from the previous proposition that they are homotopic. Okay, so now define reparameterization gamma. So this is the reparameterization I have defined. Okay, now if you ask me how did you do this, I can say you exactly. It's just a mathematical, calculation and elaboration. You have to find out this is the point and that is the point. So this is the straight line homotopy joining them. And again, in the next step, this will be the straight line joining them. So this is the picture basically for that reparameterization. This is the picture, right? And then you will get your gamma, which is the reparameterization in that sense. You understand that what is the reparameterization does? It's sliding your F to that F. Like in the previous, in the bottom of this picture, F starts from the 1/4, and then in the next in the last step, F ends at the first half, and in the bottom, F ends in the first fourth. So in this way, they are related, like they are related through the straight line. Means at t equal to 0, I'm here, my F is here. At t equal to 1, my F should be there. I'm demanding F should be there. So that's how the picture means to me. There might be more geometric thing which I'm not aware about at least at this moment for this for related in this context. But yeah. Okay. So this is my reparameterization. I don't want to go through the proof of like the how I did this, but yeah, I don't think it's that difficult. If you put some effort for this, you will figure it out. Okay, this is just the straight line. You can understand that first one is a straight line is by 2, then s minus 1 by 4, 2s minus 1. So these are all straight line joining those points. There is then they so therefore then you it will be easy for you to check that if product of f with parenthesis g and h is same as parenthesis fg with product of h and composite gamma. So it means that one is the reparametrization of other. So then by the previous proposition we can say that they are homotopic to each other. Okay, so it proves the fact that homotopy behaves well with the associativity. So it preserves so homotopy class preserves the associativity. Whereas you can check with some example. I just want you to check it because it will be good for you to know that whereas the so yeah, so if composed with G composed H will not be will this is the associativity of two homotopy classes, right? Not just like uh, okay, so not just like that, the associativity holds just like that. Associativity holds for the homotopy classes, right? That's what the important point I was trying to mention, that you can say now, since these things hold, what you can say? You can say that, oh, so now I can say that if compose, sorry, a product, these are all product. If this is the product, right? And these we have seen that we can write it by this, as we have seen that product behaves well with the homotopy. And from here you can actually say that so from this proposition you can say that, oh, that means it will be same as so all here I'm trying to say is basically, without wasting much time on this, that your if G homotopy class of this, right? Or you can say that homotopy of G and homotopy of H. This we can write as we have seen before. I don't know if this looks messy, but yeah, this is what it is. Right, like the for example the composition of function is associative. So something is associative, it means that a composed with b composed c is same as a composed b and then composed with c. This is So, but this is well defined in the sense that this holds for homotopy class. That's what I was saying, right? So, in general, it is not like that. So, if I have F and G and H, and if their product defines, if I can define their product, then if I choose the one representative F of G of H, right, and another representative where F is homotopic to F prime, G is homotopic to G prime, H is homotopic to H prime, we can actually see that these are well defined. It means that it doesn't depend on the representative, as we have seen before for the product. Okay, so I don't think, yeah. Okay, so associativity holds. Now, let's define something else. For any x belongs to x, denote epsilon x to be the constant map from I into the point x in x. That is, epsilon x of t is small x for all t belongs to I. So it means that it maps everything to the point x in x, right? So everything in 0, 1 will map to the point small x. So it calls the constant path at the point x or corresponding to the point x. So now there is a lemma. What is the lemma? That if be an equivalence class of paths with the initial point x naught and the terminal point x1, then epsilon x naught, product of epsilon x naught and f is same as f. And similarly for f and epsilon x1 equal to f. Okay, so now how to see this? So I have a constant path at x naught and I have f. So what does it mean? So what we need to show basically? What we need to show here? What do you need to show here? What does this means? We need to show that epsilon x naught f is homotopic to f. And then in the homotopy equivalence class, they will be same, right? Okay, so how to show that they will be epsilon x naught dot f will be homotopic to f? So now look at the definition of epsilon x naught product with f. So epsilon x naught product with f means half of the time I'm sitting on x naught, and remaining half of the time I'm traversing the path f, right? So half of the time I'm just sitting on x now, and f means, so, and it is saying that this will be homotopic to f. So it means that I need to deform this path in such a way that I'll reach to f. F means a path which is just start from x naught and end at x1 without sitting at x naught for a second. So what is the intuition behind it? That over the deformation, in the first deformation, I'm sitting on x naught for half of the time. So slowly, my sitting time at x naught will be reducing over the time, right? Over the deformation t, my sitting time over will be reducing. And then at the end of the deformation, or at t equal to 1, my sitting time at x naught will be 0. So that's how I'll define the deformation here. So this is the intuition behind it, that first I'm sitting half of the time at x naught and half of the time I'm traversing f. but at the end my aim is to traverse just throughout f without sitting at x naught even for a second, right? So how to do this? Now again, some kind of reparametrization is coming to our mind. What is going on here? So if you look at this matter, so what is going on? What should we do? In the level of reparametrization, the facility or advantage of the reparametrization is we can do it in 0, 1 cross 0, 1, and then we can compose it with f or g or whatever, and then to go to the space x and then to see what is going on there. And this we can do because homotopy behaves well with the composition of function. Okay. So we are sitting half of the time at x naught and then traversing f, and at the end we want to traverse the full path f. So of course there should be a straight line joining this half point. This is the starting points of my f, right? And I'm joining this straight line with this. Okay, let me just redraw it. Yeah, so why this line is joining to, why it is like, yeah, so why did I join these two line? um, is there any answer or any intuition behind it? Can anyone tell me? I might not know it, like even, yeah, please, if you feel something, uh, just to see that epsilon x naught dot f is homotopic to f. Can anyone describe me a bit about this picture? What is going on? Why do we join these two? Okay, so it's basically whatever I said for the associativity of the homotopy class. So basically here I'm in the middle of epsilon x naught and f. So my starting point of f is here in the middle at t equal to 0. This is my starting point of f, right? And ending point of the path epsilon x naught in some way, even though epsilon x naught means it's the constant path at the same point x naught. And at the end I have f here, so my starting point of f is here. Sorry, yeah, starting point of f is here. So in that way I'm doing the straight line in a sense that I want my f, it was starting point here, I want my starting point of f to be there, like to be here at the point equal to 1. And this I can do easily by joining a straight line, since I'm in the level of reparametrization. I'm in 0, 1 cross 0. So now what will I do? Now this is my gamma, and then I'm composing this with the f, and then I'll get the actual reparametrization which is going on. So let's look at this matter. Okay, so so look at the definition of epsilon x naught dot f. It means that first half of is epsilon x naught of x naught, which is x naught, since it's a constant path at 0 to half, and then half to 1, it is f of 2s minus 1. Okay, so now define a reparametrization. The reparametrization, I think that is intuitive to see what is the reparametrization will be. The reparametrization will be 0, right, at 0 to half, and then it will be the, sorry, here I have done one mistake. This will not be f, it will be just, this will not be f, this will just be, now there will not be any f. This reparametrization gamma is a function from 0, 1 cross 0, 0, 1 to 0, 1. So this will be just 0 in the first term, and then 2s minus 1. So what is that? Look at this function, look at this picture. the picture is exactly saying the same thing. First you are here, first you are here, right? Which is basically your gamma is equal to 0. So the picture is whatever we have drawn. This picture is actually in the level of 0 1 cross 0 1. Whatever is happening in X, we can't draw it, but we can intuitively think what can it be. So this is the gamma is equal to 0, and then it will be the straight line joining these 2 points. And this point is half comma 0, and this point is 0 comma 1. And the straight line joining them is exactly this 2s minus 1, as you can check. Okay, so then you will see that so this is your gamma then, which is kind of helping you to slide. Helping reparametrization means in some sense it is shifting this thing to another thing, shifting this path to another path, so that it is easy for you to build the homotopy which you want, which your desired thing. Um okay, so this is your gamma, and then if you see your, if you compose your gamma with f, what you will get? Now this is a composition epsilon f and gamma. So gamma and f composition will be f of 0 for the first half, and then f of 2s minus 1 for the so my gamma is this. Sorry, as I said, this f is mistake. This will not be f. This is just the gamma is just this. Then I'm composing with f. Then it will be f of 2s minus 1. This is a mistake, writing mistake. Yeah. So then I'm composing f with gamma. Then it will be f composed gamma will be f of 0 for the first half, and then f of 2s minus 1. And f of 0 is the initial point of the path f, which is x naught, right? So then f composed gamma is indeed epsilon x naught dot f, as we have seen the definition of epsilon x naught product with f, which is just this one, right? This one. So this is basically f composed with gamma. So therefore epsilon x naught dot f is just reparametrization of f. Hence they are homotopic to each other from the previous proposition, since homotopy behaves well with the reparametrization. Okay, so therefore we have proved this, and in the similar way you can prove that f is homotopic to f product with epsilon x1. In the similar way you can prove this exactly same. The drawing will be just the on that side, the diagonal, right? X1 will be on that right side. So that's how it will be. Okay, any questions here, any doubts? Yeah, this is the diagram I have drawn for f product with epsilon x1 is homotopic to f. I am trying to just kind of reminding you, this is what is going on in the level of 0 1 cross 0 1. Don't get confused. But the book or they can't draw the picture for, no one can draw the picture for the level of whatever is going on in after composing with a for g. We will go to some other space, X arbitrary space. We can't draw it. So we are drawing whatever is going on under the level of reparametrization, and then to compose f and then to go there. Anyway, so this was the thing, and then now let's go to some other context. Now, if f is a path in x from x0 to x1, we define a path f inverse from x1 to x0, right? it's just a different direction. So my x will be, if this is my f, x naught and x1, so my f inverse will be the same path, just in the opposite direction, as we can easily understand. So then f inverse corresponds to running backwards along f. Okay, now there is a lemma again. Let f be a path in x, and let f inverse be the path above defined, the above defined path. Then f product, the product, homotopy product of f, class of f product with class of f inverse, is homotopic to f epsilon x naught, and similarly for the x1. So it means what? It means that if I start, if this is my f, this is x naught, and this is x1. So I'm going from f, this is f, and then I'm coming again to, I'm traversing in the backward by the same. This is my f inverse. The green was my f inverse. Then I'm starting from x naught and I'm reaching again to x naught, right? So in some way it gives me a loop at x naught. Loop means a closed path at some point, like whose initial and terminal point is same. So then I'm saying, as I'm moving half of the path by f and I'm traversing the backward through f inverse by remaining half, then that path is homotopic to the path, constant path at x naught. Okay, so now let's look at this matter, how it goes. The definition of f inverse. What is the definition? F of 2s for the first term, and f inverse of 2s minus 1. Now, f inverse of t is basically, the definition of f inverse of t is f of 1 minus t. So then, f inverse of 2s minus 1, f inverse of 2s minus 1 is basically f of 1 minus 2s plus 1, right? So it's basically f of 2 minus 2s. Right, so yeah, so this was the thing, and then so this is the f inverse. So now what can be my homotopy? Here I did not take a help of the reparametrization, because this is quite intuitive in some sense. If you see, I defined a homotopy between f inverse and the constant path epsilon x naught. So look at the picture. This is the f inverse, right? Or this is f inverse. First half f, and the first half f, and then the second half f inverse. And this is my epsilon x naught is just sitting here. So I'm just sitting at x naught. So if you see that the homotopy here, how the way we define it, and also the picture, if you see the homotopy, I defined that f of 2s for okay, so homotopy is comma t, so at each parameterization t, at each time t, I am moving the let's say I'm considering my time t at the t is constant, now t is fixed. At that tth position, I am moving the half of this by traverse the half of this through f, and then at the time t by 2 to 1 minus t by 2, I'm sitting at that point ft, and then again I'm moving backwards. F of 2 minus 2s means f inverse of 2s minus 1, as we have seen the definition. This is just f of 2 minus 2s means f inverse. We have already seen it, right? So yeah, so look at this here, the definition of f inverse. This is f inverse of 2s minus 1, and since f of f in the definition of f inverse of s is f of 1 minus s, and then we are getting 2 minus 2s, right? So what does it mean? It means that the homotopy here is you are kind of okay, just a minute. Yeah, so you are at each time t, you are kind of going through f for the first half of t at tth time, that's what I'm saying, at tth time, at the first half of the path, you are moving over this path if, and then you are sitting here, and for t by 2 to 1 minus t by 2, and then and the remaining time, so not the remaining half, remaining time 1 minus t by 2 to 1, you are kind of traversing back. This is f inverse. Why did we do that? Just look at this, like for example, let's see that what will happen if your t is 0. If your t is 0, then what will be your h of s comma 0, like h0 of s? What will be from this definition? It will be just the point x naught, right? F of 0, f of 0, f of 0, because your t is 0. So you are just having the first part of the, yeah, you will have this only. If your t is 0, you will fall in under this situation. So then you will be f of 0, that is your x naught. Look at when your t is 1, what will happen? H1 of s. So at time t equal to 1, you will have 0 to t equal to 1 means 0 to half, you will be f of 2s, right? And at the point half, you will have f of half there, right? And then from half to 1, you will have f inverse of 2s minus 1, which is f of 2 minus 2s. So it means this is basically at t equal to 1, this is basically f compose f product with f inverse, right? So this is how the homotopy works, like this is how it works, like, so how to say, how to explain it in that way? So you are moving some part of the past, that's what the picture here. Yeah, so first you are just sitting here, and then you are just moving right over the point t. See, you will just come here, and you will just sit by that t by 2 to 1 minus t by 2 there, and then again you are moving here. Maybe you will, maybe at this is your t equal to some, let's say t prime, you are coming here, and this will represent your f inverse, right? And then at if t by 2 to 1 minus t by 2, you are fixing yourself there, like you are sitting there just as it is. These things are, I think, quite difficult to make someone understand. I think it's like I can give you some, I am, whatever I'm doing, I'm just giving you some idea of what is going on, but if you want to look at this matter, you have to look at by yourself in some way. Even for me also, I thought it in that way. Like found it hard to explain it in a in the way what I'm thinking. But yeah, but the idea is that only that first t by up to t by 2 you are sitting, you are going f, then t by 2 to 1 minus t by 2 you are not moving, you are just sitting there, and then you are moving backwards. Okay, check, this is the required homotopy. We had already seen that at the 0th time it will be x naught, at the 1st time it will be the path if product with f inverse. But you can of course go through more details. Okay, so now a pointed space X, a pointed space is a pair X comma A consisting of a topological space X and a point A belongs to X. So A is referred to as the base point of X. It's nothing special, but we are kind of linking the space X with the point A in some way. Nothing, I don't think is very serious, but yeah, but then my space will be X comma A in the sense that if I have a function f from x to y, then the function will be determined on the function will be determined by where it will send a, like what will be my fa in that way. So the pointed space is important in this case, in this way, that what I was actually trying to say, that if f is a function from x to y, let's say my pointed space is x comma a, then my y should be also my pointed space, which is not just y, which is just y comma fa. So then I look at, I'm kind of trying to look it into that, maybe that point and neighborhood of that in some way in the topological space. Not much about the globally, but the locally around the point, or maybe some properties, intrinsic properties are there which is preserved under that point or something, some special things. I also don't know, but yeah. Uh, Otherwise, I don't know much significance about the pointed space, at least at this point. Okay. So let now pi1 xa denote the set of homotopy classes of loops based at A together with the multiplication of homotopy classes defined before. So pi1 xa is the set of all homotopy classes of loops. Can anyone tell me why do we consider loops but not just the paths from any 2 points? Any idea? Okay, maybe you will see it over this theorem. The next theorem states that the set pi1 of x comma a of homotopy classes of loops based at A. So the moment you are talking about loops, your base point should be fixed, right? There is only one point where you are making loop. Loops, let's say at the point A. And that's why this pointed space is important, that you are considering all loops at that point, around that point. And then you are trying to do some kind of sophisticated thing. The set pi1 of x comma a of homotopy classes of loops based at A with the operation of multiplication of homotopy classes is a group. This is what the fundamental group, right? And this is the biggest theorem to prove this is a group. But throughout the last previous lemmas, we have seen, we actually proved this theorem. That's why I have written that proof follows from previous lemmas. Okay, so now we arrived at a situation. What is the situation? We denote something as pi1 of x comma a. So what is the pi1 of x comma a? Is homotopy classes of loops based at a. So is the all box of f box of g, where f g everything is a loop at the point a. So loops means just a closed paths whose initial and terminal points are same. So, and I'm claiming that with the operation of multiplication of homotopy classes, what is that? That we had already seen the product of two paths. Product of paths is basically the multiplication, and we have already checked this multiplication is well defined. So, if f is a loop at, let's say, at a, and g is a loop, how we are defining this? This is basically fg, and the product of two paths are defined if the end point of one, the first one is the same as the initial point on the last one, but in this case they are loops, so initial terminal of everything is same. So yeah, so with the operation of multiplication of homotopy classes, this is a group. So now, can you, over the last few lemmas, whatever we have seen, the associativity of the homotopy classes, we never considered anywhere they were loops. The associativity holds even for the paths. Paths means two end and paths whose end points are not same. But to make it group, to give a group structure, or to see the group structure, we need to actually just to consider ourselves or restrict ourselves to the loops, to the paths whose end and end points are same, not just any arbitrary paths whose initial point and terminal points are not same. We can't consider them. But can anyone tell me why, where it is, if we don't consider loop, what will be the problem? Anyone? What will be the problem in the group structure? Will that pi1 of xa be still a group, still be a group? No, right? Why this will not be a group if we don't consider the loop, if we won't consider the loop instead of just path. Look at the previous lemmas. Okay. The closure property means Jivan is saying the closure property may be failed. So the closure property means what? That the product, right?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
I actually think the inverse property will have a problem because, like, in this lemma, we can see that f and f into f inverse will give the identity at x naught, but f inverse into f will give the identity at x1. And in a group, we want these identities to be the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the only way to do that is to ensure that both the points are the same point.
Exactly. So we want the identity to be unique. So that's what the reason, I guess. Yeah. It is basically the identity. If you see this lemma also, that if I have passed, look at the, just read, observe this lemma, what I have opened now. That f is an equivalence class of paths with initial point x naught and the terminal point x1. Then epsilon x naught product with f is f, and f product with epsilon x1 is also f, right? But we want this to be unique, this element. We call this kind of element as the, if I have some e in my group, if e compose a and a compose e compose a is a, and a compose e, like if there is some E compose A is A, and A compose E prime is also A, then E has to be same with E prime. There can't be any left identity and right identity in the group. So the identity should be unique. So that's why we consider loop, and that's what Ipsha was mentioning. But the closure property will hold, because closure property means what? Closure property means whether we can make products of two groups, two paths, whether we can make products of two equivalence class of paths. That we can do, right? Like as long as we have a path from x0 to x1 and another from path from x1 to x2, then we can make the product of them. But that will not be enough in some sense, just because of this identity element. Okay, so maybe this is the end of this notes, and then I have these notes here, which is where I have actually given, these are just consequences of some of the fundamental group. The group pi 1 of x comma a is called the fundamental group of x based at a. Here's the fundamental group of a, group of a space x at some point a is just the group of all loops based at a, modulo homotopy. Remember here every element is a homotopy equivalence class, not just a just a mm, not just a path, not just a loop, but the class of a loop, right? So you can probably also look at this matter. That's what I was trying to say at the time of whenever I was proving the associativity property, that instead of just taking the class of loops, if you take just the loops, right? Let's say you are having a topological space X and you are taking all the loops at the uh, at that point. Let's say at the point A. Will that form a group? You understand? Do you understand my question? My question is this homotopy equivalence. This thing is very important because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. If you just take all the loops, collection of all loops, that's it. That will not be that will not form a group, because in that case your constant path composition, any path will be homotopic to some other path. They will not be same, they will be homotopic, right? They add up to homotopy, you can say they are same, but they are not actually same, they are not equal. Like I'm trying to say, if you have, let's say your set is D, which is collection of all loops at A belongs to some topological space X. So the line which I have written here with the asterisk, that hence the fundamental group of a space X at some point A is just the group of all loops based at A, modulo homotopy. This modulo homotopy means I am considering taking the elements, my elements are the equivalence class, homotopy class. That forms a group. Not just I'm considering all loops at a point, considering all loops at a point A, and then I'm like, look at this and that will be loop, that will be the home fundamental group, that will be a group. No. Why? Because if I take all loops at A belongs to X, what do I want? To it to be a group, there should be a constant element, and constant element needs to be a constant path here, like constant loop at the point A. There is no other choice if I consider collection of all loops at A. So the constant element will be a constant at A. But if you take the constant map at A, let's say it will be epsilon A, constant map at A, and product of this with the what, with any loop at F, right? This is not same as F, right? They are homotopic to F. They are homotopic to F, but they are not same. So this will not form a group. For it to form a group, we want this to be same. But they are not same. They are just homotopic, and hence this is not a good thing to do. That's why otherwise it would have been so easy just to take a collection of all loops and make things over there. But that was not the case because of this, because you need under some modulo some homotopy, you are taking them, you are considering these two as the same element under that class. Okay, so this what it is. And yeah, and so this is the fundamental group we have arrived today. um, there are some facts which I have proved, but I don't think, should I proceed or should I don't know, like maybe it will take more half an hour or something to complete all this, because these things are not that difficult. uh, but yeah, what do you think, like what should I do? I don't know. Someone is saying, Jivan is saying no problem. Should I proceed or what about others? Ipsa and Ajim, what do you think? This is
I'd actually prefer to do it in the next class because I want to go through the reparameterization parts once more properly before this.
yes. Okay. So one thing I can say that here, after that, whatever the things are there, these are just consequence of the properties of fundamental groups, because what I have, if I have some map in the level of continuous map, that will induce a map in the level of fundamental groups and so on. So these are the all things. These are not that difficult for me to say, but if you want, I can say it in a different day. Yes, and that will be good for all of you maybe. Then you will prefer, you will put more time for the reparameterization and other things whatever you already had done. But yeah, let me know when the next time will be available, like because as far as I know about myself, I will not have much time before, since I'm going to leave soon. Maybe I will take 1 or 2 more days, like 1 or 2 more sessions to hear from India. And but one important thing which I want to share with all of you, like, or one important session, that is the fundamental group of circle is isomorphic to the set of integers. And that proof is really remarkable proof in algebraic topology here, and also very fundamental. It depends on lots of fundamental uh, things depending on that. And then that's what I was actually thinking, that I'll make a presentation on that. But I don't know if my time will permit me, because I'm becoming too busy in the end of this, and since I'm going to leave. And I'll let you know if I'll be available for those things in India. If I'm not available here in India, after reaching there, I might manage some time in some weekend, so that I can at least complete that thing, to let you know what is going on, because those things are really good and important for someone to know. If you want, of course, then I'll proceed. Otherwise, there is no point. Anyway, so Let me know what do you think. And so I am going to end it for today. And I'll, of course,